Hey guys, it's Kyle from Regrettable Props, and we're going to be making the Orochi chest part 2 today, and it's the shoulder pieces where the rope attaches for the paneling for the front and the back. I'm providing the right side, so obviously you're going to want to flip this for the left. It's going to include the same package of templates that you guys had for the part 1, and that'll be obviously linked in the bottom or in the description. And here what I'm just using is a X-Acto or a scalpel to cut out a hole that's wide enough to fit the diameter of my 1/2 inch rope. Obviously adjust that hole depending on the size of rope we're going to be using to connect the front and back panels to this section. And then I use 2mm foam to add some detailed piece to that piece of foam that sticks up on the part that goes right beside your neck. And then I marked out on my piece of foam where I'm going to be connecting it. I've done the same for you guys on your template. And then we're going to cut out that 2mm, that rectangular section on 2mm craft foam. We're going to do this for both sides, but before we glue that piece to it, what we're going to do is just score the foam, not as much as we've done before, or I have at least in the previous panels. And then afterwards I heat sealed this piece, being careful not to melt the 2mm trim piece of foam. And then once I was happy with the placement of it, I've obviously glued it in with some hot glue. And then here you can see we are just adding some more 2mm craft foam. I'm folding it over on itself and just doing a small enough piece so it wraps around the edge to help give this beveled or rounded look on the outside of foam. Here you can see once it's done, I've done about 6 of them, 3 on the outside edge, 2 on the front and back, and then 1 that's against inwards towards my shoulder. And then I cut out a long 2-inch wide strip of 2mm foam. That's this piece of white foam here that you currently see, and I'm just giving you an example. Like I'm wrapping it out, tacking it down on one edge, let's say that piece right there, gluing it, and then wrapping around and pressing it so it overlaps those pieces. The bottom isn't as clean of a gluing. It doesn't matter because no one's going to see that, but here you can see the idea of what I use to get that look, or the final outcome of what that look is supposed to be like. And then there's this ring that's on that 2mm section, so I just cut out a piece of scrap foam, made it about a rectangle, maybe about 1 inch in length, and then I just bent it on itself and then obviously glued it there in place. If you guys are a little bit confused by what I meant with the wrapping of that foam, I have more pictures on my Facebook page in the album Orochi build. That way you guys are able to see it yourself. Once I've done all that, I coated the entire piece in about 2 coats of Modge Podge mixed with black paint. Gave the entire piece, both pieces I should be saying, about light dry brushing of brown paint. I didn't focus too much on doing the underside, just areas where you'd be seeing it. And then I mixed some tan and ivory, or tan and brown together to dry brush on some lighter areas, specifically just the outside, and then some of the highlighting of that piece that sticks out. And then I mixed some brown, orange, and tan together to further accentuate the wood grain. Here I am just painting just a flat normal or gloss black on that area that has the ring section, because that area is painted black. And then I later used some dry brushing of silver to add some weathering to it. Once we've had all the painting done and it's completely dry, here you can see the layout of what we're trying to do now. I'm using that 1/2 inch diameter rope, about 2 to 2.5 feet in length. And what we're going to do is going to put a hole, or sorry, not a hole. We're going to put a knot first, and that way put it through the outside of the top plate on one of the sides. Have it go over top of the shoulder girdle, and then come back under, come back out over, and if I'm not explaining it well, you can obviously see from the visual. Here you can see it fully assembled. I'm not completely sure yet on how I'm going to be connecting both pieces from the side, so I've left that not done currently in this build, but I will be tackling that in the future and obviously updating it and showing you guys once I figured out a method that works. Anyways, it's been Kyle from Regrettable Props. I hope you guys have a good day, have been able to follow along. If you have any comments or questions or suggestions for the future, post them in the comments or on my Facebook page. Anyways, have a good day.